What's going on, everybody? So I am back today to talk about a film that was released in 2021 that I had not gotten the chance to see yet, and I made my best of 2021 list and stated a few films that I hadn't got a chance to catch, and this is one that's been nominated for a few Academy Awards. The film I'm going to talk about today is CODA. I was really looking forward to see this one. I didn't know too much about it going into the film, but I was aware that the film was about a young girl who has deaf parents and a deaf brother, and that she was interested in music, and that was about the base level that I knew of the film. I was really pleasantly surprised by this one. It was really well acted and well shot, and it was definitely a movie that I would put in my top 10 of the year last year. CODA is directed by Sian Heder. As a CODA, child of deaf adults, Ruby, played by Emilia Jones, is the only hearing person in her deaf family. When the family's fishing business is threatened, Ruby finds herself torn between pursuing her love of music and her fear of abandoning her parents. This is a film that, like I said, I knew very little about going into it. When I started the film, immediately just from the lead performance of Ruby and her parents, played by Marlee Matlin and Kotsur, just their dynamic, the dynamic that she has with her brother, I knew that I was in for an entertaining film. But what I didn't realize was just how emotionally gripping the movie was going to be. This film gets away with a lot of things that like a base level Hallmark movie could get away with, but I feel like the execution is so superior than that, and there's so much more at the core of this film. And the internal struggles of the lead character, seeing her intentions and what she's trying to do, and then looking at the intentions of her family. And I think that it was a really unique experience, and I'm really glad I watched it. So like I said, the first thing I want to talk about is the performances. Our lead character, Ruby, was fantastic. Her vocal performance when she was singing was incredible. She's very, very talented. But I don't want to take away from the fact that the two lead characters of the parents, played by Marlee Matlin and Kotsur, were both phenomenal. Kotsur was nominated for an Academy Award, which was awesome to see someone portraying a deaf character on screen. To get an Academy Award nomination is awesome because it could be very heavy-handed as far as how it's going to portray these deaf characters on screen and their dynamic and relationship with their child. But the way everything is introduced is so natural, and the director doesn't make it feel abnormal or strange. It's just this character's day-to-day life and her interactions, and it's their family's day-to-day life. Taking something that people really deal with and struggle with, making it normal and making it feel real for people who don't understand what it's like to live under those circumstances. And that's what's really great. A lot of cliched Hallmark or ABC family movies, if they took on this concept, it would be laid on really heavy-handed about the characters being deaf, and it would just be done very hokey. This movie makes everything feel hyper-realistic, to where even if you haven't experienced being around a deaf person or working with someone who is deaf, you can understand this situation and put yourself in the shoes of these characters. This aspect of life that it really exists for a lot of people, and putting incredible actors in there to make them so relatable. What I really love is how playful the mother and father characters are. Some really ridiculous scenes in this movie. There's like a scene early on where the father's complaining because his crotch is itching, and they go to the doctor, and the doctor tells them both that they have jock itch and that they can't have sex for 2 weeks, and like the daughter's joking that he said that they can't have sex for the rest of their lives, and then when they say 2 weeks, both the parents are like, it's impossible, we can't do it. And that playful nature between those characters are great. Daniel Durant, who plays the brother, also does a phenomenal job, and since all their conversations are signed, they're subtitled throughout the film while they're signing, but the amount of emotion conveyed just in facial expressions and the way that they're delivering these conversations with their daughter is so impactful. The use of score in this film when the family's having conversations and whatnot, because music is a huge important element of the film, but also this parallel to the fact that the family is deaf. What's really great is the sound editing in this film. Whenever the family is together, it's dead silent. dead silent other than if Ruby makes a comment every now and again while she's signing. But I thought that made it so much more impactful as a viewer watching these people convey their emotions through their facial expressions and their hand movements, and it's really unique. Films about deaf community, I haven't seen a ton of them recently. I saw Sound of Metal, which I thought was phenomenal, and then obviously Shape of Water conveyed that a little bit. But it's really great to see this film and see a director convey it in such a way that's so normal life. This is just something people deal with, and I thought it was really well conveyed. Eugenio Derbez, who plays the choir teacher, is also phenomenal in this film. He's got a real quirky personality to himself, and I liked that. His relationship with Ruby, wanting her to grow because of her vocal talent, is really great, and I liked the dynamic between those two characters. So obviously at the core of this film you have this family who is deaf running a fishing business, and their daughter being the only one who can hear, her being on the boat and helping them make connections in the community so that they can sell their fish, the place that they're working for currently, gouging them for their money, and they're constantly discussing going out on their own and selling fish on their own time. But the real core of the film is Ruby loves music and discovering finally that she has this talent and this knack for being able to sing, and wanting to pursue going to college, doing this as a career, but having that element of being with her family, being pulled back into the family's business because they've always been a unit, they've always been together, and they've never had to do anything on their own without their daughter. Establishing this thing of, yes, you can do this without me, I can go to college, but the turmoil between her being pulled into these new situations with her family, having to miss things for choir, her choir instructor not feeling like she's taking it seriously enough, and it's just really great. And I don't want to give too much away about the film because I think the third act is just one of the most beautiful things I watched last year. So many incredible things in this movie, so many phenomenal scenes. I think it has some amazing sound editing moments. Some of my favorite sound editing of the year, just with the limited use of sound in the film. And I think that's so much more effective than overdoing it with sound. If you can take a concept like this and really manage how the sound is conveyed to the audience, it makes the film so much more impactful. And I think that, combined with the great performances and the really nice cinematography, I think it really works well. Shot really beautifully. I think all the relationships in this film are conveyed really well. It feels very natural, and I definitely think if you have not seen this film that you should 100% check it out. So have you seen CODA yet? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I really enjoyed this movie. It would be in my top 10 list. I would say probably in like the number 6 or number 7 spot of my favorite films of the year. As always, if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot, lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always making new content, releasing videos weekly. As always, everyone, thanks so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.